So before you get started, I wanted to apologize about the lack of uploads. I've been feeling crummy, work keeping me tired, and the crap with the Party Island review being hidden from people even after the block was removed. I am excited to talk about Dexter's Lab month in September, where I'll be discussing Dexter's Lab episodes. Conveniently, I found the entire series of Dexter's Lab on DVD at Walmart, along with the complete series of Courage the Cowardly Dog, Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, and even the Beetlejuice animated series. But anyways, I can't wait to talk about Dexter's Lab and talk about some of my favorite episodes of this series. Also, the fact that Dexter was the one that created me, or more so, tried to create an intellectual companion that he could talk to about science, while doing the busy work that he doesn't like doing. But that's not what I'm going to talk about. But if you do want to hear about that story of how I became the Hoot that I am today, let me know. I may discuss that during Dexter's Lab month. What I'm talking about is the King of the Hill episode, where Bobby, Joseph, and Connie went to Big Water Park for the summer to escape from the scorching Texas heat waves, only to be harassed by a bunch of Texas surfer bros who won't let them enjoy the Big Katuba surfer wave machine or whatever. And it's up to the unlikely hero in Boomhauer to return to his past as a surfer to take on these wannabe Cali surfer bros with his signature, the Flamingo.
The Flamingo! The Flamingo!
It's a good episode to watch during the summer, though it may not be one of my top episodes of the series. I'm sure a few of you fellow Hooties like this episode. So with that being said, let's how do we get to the water park again?
Take the second left off Santa Anita Avenue.
Slide left on Encinita Boulevard.
Get wet, get wild, get cool, go bananas. Off the San Pedro exit.
It's right there.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's get to the episode. Also, you may notice the new editing style. I did this to, 1, avoid copyright issues, like I said in the community post, and 2, to set my channel apart from other channels, to add a touch of individuality, or something like that. We start with a heat wave, as the boys struggle to stay cool, Con not even being able to make it to his house before cooling himself off with the cooler, as Boomhauer goes to make some modifications to his jeans, making them jean shorts. Even Con being impressed. Unfortunately, the ladies aren't so impressed.
Nice Daisy Dukes.
Hank goes to ask Bobby something when he's disgusted by Joseph and his boxers.
Joseph, isn't it time you think about heading home?
Oh, I can't take it in my house. My dad has the heat cranked all the way up. He said something about fighting fire with fire, but it wasn't working for me.
Just then, Bobby sees an ad for the Big Water Waterpark and asks Hank if he can take the trio there, to which he agrees.
Fine. Just put on your pants.
Meanwhile, Bill gets a flat and calls Hank, asking if he can pick him up, 'cause it's hot outside.
It's hot. It's hot! It's so hot! You gotta come get me!
Bill gets desperate and waves to be picked up by passers-by, thinking he's waving at them, and waves back. Bill gets taken back by the attention and starts waving at people. The trio are amazed by the water park, and they talk about the avalanche.
And it's horrifying. Some kid went on it, and all that came out the bottom was a bathing suit. They never found him.
I heard in the middle of the slide there's a moment where you're traveling so fast you actually become water.
And it's cool how they talk about the avalanche like it's some summer urban legend and foreshadowing for later on in the episode. Bobby convinces Hank to give them the summer pass.
If you won't do it for me, do it for your lawn. A slip and slide can be very destructive.
Hank warns them not to get bored of the water park, and he swears that he won't. We see Boomhauer at the and challenges anyone to air hockey and take on the champ, to which no one is interested, except for an old guy who accepts his challenge. Let's be honest, the old guy probably wiped the floor at Boomhauer, which is more likely why we didn't see his humiliating defeat. It's funny how Boomhauer is feeling like he's getting old and not as cool as when he was in his younger days. And boy, do I know how that is, being a Hoot in their early 30s, not getting to the trends of today, which, to be honest, they're just cringy. And I may be an old owl hooting at the midnight clouds, but it does feel like stuff is just nothing but lazy, dumbed down mush, and especially cartoons are dumbed down and watered down to the point that everything is just baby food for the eyes. Whereas cartoons from the 90s and even the early 2000s were funny, and it had some jokes that I didn't get as a kid, but I did as I grew up, which wouldn't slide today with everything having to fit this normal milquetoast, modern, simplistic animation and that same bean-shaped mouth smile and character design. And I'm not even gonna talk about the horror that is TikTok and the brain rot it brought to YouTube, or even the attention span destroying content forms that somehow get into YouTube Kids that's only made to cash in on any latest trend shows for cheap money. I'm sorry about the long rant about something unrelated to the episode. I'm just tired of seeing this very good content and still be allowed on YouTube despite it breaking every TOS, but somehow YouTube just ignores it until enough people get on them about it until they have no choice but to act. You know, it's been a while since you checked up on Bill. What's he been up to? Oh, he's just still waving at people driving by the bypass as Hank fixes his flat, not wanting to pass up on waving at people. Hank reminding him that it's over 100 degrees and tells him that for his health he should get back home. But as he drives off, he hears the radio talking about how Bill, or the Heat Waver, is making people happy by waving at them, and he pulls over to the side and continues his noble quest as the Heat Waver. Back at Big Water, the trio are excited to have fun at the, waterfall surf machine thing. I don't know. Party Hoots would know what this is. I don't go out and surf when I go to water parks. I didn't use one of these. I did what most Hoots did. I waited in the low end of the pool and drifted along the lazy river with a corn dog and relaxed like the happy little Hoot that I am. When they get to the front of the line, they're stopped by some jerks.
Why don't you kiddies hit up the tadpool? Get out of here.
Locals only, mothers. Get off our way.
Now, I don't know if this is actually a thing. I mean, in Rocket Power, they called tourist shoebies, which is in fact a New Jersey word, probably from the words shoebearer and shoebox, where people wear shoes to the beach and overcrowd them, making surfing and life of the Rocket crew miserable. I think it's funny seeing the word shoebearer like something from Lord of the Rings. The bearer of the shoe, the wearer of the shoe, they make like for the locals a drag. What will you do when the shoobies come for you? They coat the beach in trash. That instance, I understand why Otto and the Rocket Power crew have a disdain for tourists or shoobies. But here in Texas, you can't just gatekeep people from enjoying all that Big Water has to offer just because they aren't locals. Not wanting to put his summer budget to waste, Bobby stands up to the snooty surf bros, thinking he found an adult he tells him about the jerks, only to find that the adult Bodie, an employee of Big Water, is the leader.
And I guess it sucks to be you.
Bobby demands that he and his friends get to cool down and get wet, and to their dismay, they oblige by throwing Bobby down the dreaded avalanche. I like how the one in charge of the avalanche just tells them the rules, nonchalant of them about to throw him down the slide, possibly causing Bobby harm or embarrassment, which happens later on. Bobby complains to the Hills the situation. Hank makes a funny joke.
Nobody lives in an amusement park.
That is so weird, because I always have really good experiences with surfers. Didn't they help put your sunscreen on, Bobby?
Peggy tries to help out like a substitute teacher can. Bobby tries to give up, and Hank tells him that he'll deal with the locals, and Luann says something cute.
I read in a magazine about a girl surfer who was attacked by a shark, and against all odds, she still managed to be pretty.
Meanwhile, Bill is still waving at people as he starts to get crispy from the sun as Boomhauer throws away some stuff, feeling that they are no longer cool anymore, which is absolutely not the case. And even so, you shouldn't throw away something that's important to you. You should cherish it in a man cave like everyone else, so you can sit and look back at all the accomplishments that you've done and be proud that you were able to achieve them. Not be ashamed that they aren't cool anymore. Heck, I still watch cartoons from my childhood, and I don't care if people think it's uncool that I talk about them even in my 30s. What's important is that you still enjoy them. But anyways, let's get back to the A-plot. Big water drama. Hank goes to the customer service and makes a complaint about the jerks from earlier at the big Katuba endless wave, and he says that he'll take care of it. And he ends up just not being any help at all, and, well... They returned home and talked about how the employee made things worse, Dale suggesting that Boomhauer can talk sense into the surfers, going on about how great a surfer Boomhauer was, and you can see it brings him out of his slump that he's been in during this episode. We all need a friend like Dale, not the crazy paranoid side of him, but the side that lifts people up when they need it. Dale's a real friend, even to those who don't deserve it. Nancy. But anyways, Boomhauer agrees as they watch an old tape of him surfing, which Bobby and the others aren't too thrilled.
Is this even surfing?
I think he's kayaking.
Hank is driving to or from work, I assume, as he sees Bill baking in the sun, waving at people, as Hank tells him to go home, but Bill refuses to go, even though it seems the sun did a Jimmy Witchard on poor Bill's brain.
Stop looking at me like that, Peggy!
Wow, Bill, I know you want to make the people of Arlen happy during this heat wave, but you look redder than a lobster in a steamer, I tell you what, y'all. Sorry for the bad Cajun accent. Back at Big Water, they seem to be having a bonfire party in the middle of a parking lot, as Boomhauer takes the trio to try and talk sense into Bodie and his little locals-only gang, as he brags about surfing on the big waves.
Yeah, I've surfed all the big waves. Six Flags, Busch Gardens, even tore up Tivoli World. That's in Malaga, Spain.
Which just seems like he's just a grown man trying to pretend that he's some cool surfer guy when he's just surfing some wave machines when Boomhauer actually surfed. It's an interesting two sides of the same coin thing in my opinion, seeing what Boomhauer could have ended up still acting like he was in his prime, and I did say that you should cherish your past and look back on them fondly, but you don't go about it like Bodie. Boomhauer tries to talk Bodie into letting them ride the wave, and Bodie challenges him to the big Katuba, and well, it doesn't turn out so well.
Loser!
Bodie gloats about winning, telling him basically use it or lose it, as Boomhauer drinks away his sorrows, hiding away from his shame like an 80s movie about a once great hero, now recluse, as Dale tries to make awkward conversations with Hank now that it's just them two.
Huh. So it's just, me and you then? Just two men drinking together, not in a group?
I'm gonna go check on Bill.
Yes, go get Bill. Great idea.
Hank sees Bill is literally blistering and tries to go out to wave before his burns cause him to retreat back to the couch, begging Hank to carry on his duty as the heat waver.
Be my arms. Wave for me, Hank. Wave to everyone.
No.
Then I have nothing more to say to you.
Back at the hills, Bobby begs Peggy to turn on the air.
The Department of Water and Power requested everyone conserve energy until 6 p.m., but your father had to show off and counter with 7.
Is it weird that this is kind of working for me? Don't judge me! Yeah, I'm talking to you, sitting in your little chair or whatever you're sitting on to watch this review, or even if you're sitting at all. Let's talk about your interests before you start judging me on mine. Huh? Anyway, Hank walks in asking if Boomhauer settled things, and Bobby told him about how he fell flat on his face in the water before telling Bobby that it's time to kick some local butts. Meanwhile, Boomhauer looks over old photos of times long forgotten, reminiscing on old times at Corpus Christi and his memories as a surfer, going back to see how things have changed, like an 80s movie when he sees a kid surfer and has a talk with him, surfer to surfer, and gets some good advice.
Can't beat the wave, brah. Beat the surfer.
Beat surfer.
Who was the random kid surfing? Was he even there to begin with? But the metaphorical spirit of Boomhauer's youth reminding him who he is, that he didn't stop being a surfer, and that all he had to do was dig deep within himself and recover the lost surfer within himself to reclaim his lost surfer powers to defeat Bodie and his gang of local bullies, or something like that. Back at Bill's, the radio discusses how the heat waver was defeated and how he should have never shown up, causing Bill to put on sunblock and go back out. But the real action is back at Big Water when Hank walks up to Bodie and his gang of pint-sized locals, making it clear he's here to kick his surfer posterior, as Con bails when he sees they're surrounded, when Boomhauer steps in. Now that Boomhauer has reclaimed his surfer spirit, it's time for him to challenge Bodie to a surf-off and show that he's not the old man that they say he is, or he just knocks them off in the wave machine and surfs over them.
The flamingo! The flamingo!
The episode ends with Bodie driving through the bypass, seeing Bill and waving at him as he waves back smiling, proving Bill can bring a smile to anyone's face when he takes on the duty as the Heat Waver. And that was King of the Hill, Season 12, Episode 4, 4-Wave Intersection. I hope you enjoyed the review. Let me know what you think of the episode and the review. Again, it's not on my top list of favorite King of the Hill episodes, but I'll watch it if it's on Adult Swim. It's a nice summer episode that discusses the locals only mentality and also feeling like you're too old or not cool enough anymore. At least that's my interpretation of the episode. Let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, you fellow Hooties, feedback means so much to me, and I can't thank you enough for all your support. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share with your fam, subscribe to join the Parliament of Hoots today, and stay tuned for September, where I begin Dexter's Lab Month, where I talk about episodes of Dexter's Lab. If you have an episode of Dexter's Lab you want me to talk about, let me know in the comments. Until then, I'll see you when you visit the Allery again, and I give my Hoot in the Dark. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share with your fam, subscribe today and join the Parliament of Hoots. And also comment what you thought of the review. What are your opinions on said episode? Let me know in the comment section below. Your guys' opinion means so much to me, new viewers, and fellow Hooties. Check out the videos below, it'll take you to more of my content, and follow my other social medias, including Instagram, Twitch, and also Twitter. Or X. Until next time, guys, I'll see you when you visit the Allery again, and I give my Hoot in the Dark.